Paul Gorney from Luxury Living in Chicago, looking at downtown Chicago luxury condos and homes that you can purchase if you're thinking of moving to Chicago in 2022. Have a new video each week. Just text, call, email. People always do, even with the smallest questions when they're trying to get a handle on moving to Chicago, housing, things to do, schools, everything you need to know for your family or yourself. I represent many of our professional athletes and business leaders, and have a big trusted resource here for the last 30 years, one of the very, very top agents in the city of Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. Just reach out if you need anything. Today we're going to take a look at luxury condos and luxury single-family homes and townhomes in the downtown area of Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. So you can see behind me, we're just here where everything is off Michigan Avenue. Have the beautiful river and gorgeous architecture in Chicago that it's known for. You have the Trump building just around the corner, one of the biggest luxury buildings in Chicago. And then here you have the Wrigley building, which is an architectural masterpiece. And across the street we have the Tribune Tower, which was home to the Chicago Tribune for years, and it just made it into luxury condos. A bunch of them, 8 of them just closed yesterday. People are in the process of closing. Those units are typically between $1 and $8 million for a unit in the Trib. So for luxury condos in Chicago, the market, took a little bump over the last year. It's coming back. The new buildings, the Trib Tower, and then there's another one down the street, are the 2 hottest buildings in the city right now. The other building's been around a while. The Trump Tower, and a few others are not quite as in favor as they used to be. Showing a little bit of age. So if you want a luxury condo, definitely want to look at the latest and greatest ones with the biggest amenities. And if you're going to hold it for 3 to 8 years, it'll still be in really good shape when you go to sell it, versus some of these other buildings are going to need a little bit of upkeep in the units. Not quite as favorable as you might think.
Never been arrested.
When the Trump Tower originally sold, when it was built, the units broke a new price per square foot record. They're about $1,000 per square foot at the time, which was much, much higher than other buildings. At this point, you'll see units in the Tribune Tower. You'll see units in the Tribune Tower that are going for up to $8 million, and the square footage far surpasses what the Trump originally sold for. You can get about 3,500 square foot at the Trib Tower, and that'll set you back, a good $7-8 million. So the price per square foot is pretty hefty in the newer buildings, but as I said, the amenities and the resale will be excellent in the future. Just had a client referred to me, a very well-known business person coming from California, and they really were looking at penthouses in a lot of the buildings here, condo buildings, and they were also looking at single-family homes. So they ended up buying a single-family home which is just about 1.5 miles from Michigan Avenue here. But it was about a 12,000 square foot home, and gave them a lot of privacy, but they're close to Michigan Avenue. So it's interesting. Somebody coming from California that is used to some penthouse living looked at them here, but decided to be close to all the action, but in a single family. So that's what worked for them. We definitely looked at a lot of options, and I will say some of the penthouses we looked at were amazing views, but incredible amount of work. One of them probably had about $150,000 worth of marble that needed to be replaced because it was really ugly, to be honest with you. It's horrible. It was all over every wall, all over the living room, dining room. The whole place was covered in marble, and they were asking a price as if the unit was completely renovated, which it wasn't. So the building needs a little bit of work. again, the views maintain themselves, but the units and the buildings are tricky sometimes. So just point out, that's the world's largest Starbucks, in case you're wondering. And behind it is the peninsula. And then also over here is the Park Hyatt. Two beautiful buildings kind of in the heart of Michigan Avenue. So just continuing to walk down Michigan Avenue, as you work your way north towards Oak Street Beach, you'll get to a lot of the older condo buildings that were built 60s and the 70s, and they're kind of old school. Not as many amenities, and definitely have some beautiful views, but you know, shorter ceilings, incredible locations, but you really, when you start looking at some of the newer buildings in comparison, definitely can be swayed for many of my clients coming into town, looking at the newer stuff. You know, if the price range is something that is doable or interesting to you, it's just a lot better than some of the older stuff. This is the Allerton Hotel, which has a really cool bar meeting area on top, very historic with a beautiful view of the city. So why wouldn't you buy a condo, downtown, luxury condo in Chicago? The biggest reason is privacy, not wanting to deal with an elevator, and just getting a hell of a lot more for your money in square footage if you just go a mile or two out in a neighborhood like Lincoln Park, Old Town, the Gold Coast. These can be great options and afford you just a lot more privacy and personal space, especially, you know, if there's a good number of people living in the household. So right here is the water tower, which was one of the main structures downtown Chicago that survived the Chicago fire of 1871, and then the city was completely rebuilt after that. So across the street from this, first you have the water tower here, very beautiful, and then what you have is the Park Hyatt right across the street. And this building has exceptional views of the lake, unobstructed. But as I said, it's a little bit older now and just not quite as good as it used to be, but tremendous location, many units, and they're selling between 2 and 5 million. Definitely a good option if you want location and do a renovation or buy something someone else has renovated recently. Slightly older building at this point, but still beautiful. Just had a client move to town and really wanted to be downtown, but really wanted a townhome. So there's a few, but not that many. So they actually bought a sky home that is in one of the high rises, and you actually go up as if you live in one of the high-rise units. But when you get up there, they have a level where you walk to your townhome, and you actually have a townhome in the sky, so sky home. So these are pretty interesting options. They come with, you know, pretty good size assessments for the building, but you get the doorman, you get extra storage, you get security, and you get a private entrance to your home. So pretty neat option in downtown with the sky homes. They like it a lot. Here you have that John Hancock building, built in the 60s. And next to it, the PALMOLIVE building, which housed the Playboy Club and Playboy Enterprises for years. And then across the street, Bloomingdale's building with the Four Seasons Hotel in it, health club, great hotel amenities for everyone that lives in these units, especially some beautiful penthouses. So the prices have gone down a bit over the last year or so. on the Mag Mile, which is Michigan Avenue. And the market was kind of hammered a bit, but coming back slowly but surely. And with the new buildings definitely leading the way. Some very high ticket units with great amenities. But this is just, born and raised here. This has always just been my favorite area of the entire city. Just absolutely beautiful. Tourists, locals, everyone. You can get everything you want food-wise, shopping, coffee, a couple blocks from the lake. And as you move out from here to Lincoln Park, Old Town, you're just a couple miles away and you can get a single family home or another high-rise that's a little bit less expensive. I work with a lot of people in the public eye, and some of the most popular buildings for these types of people are just off Michigan Avenue and in some of the newer buildings like the Waldorf Astoria or 9 West Walton. And I'll show you what they look like from Michigan Avenue. They're just peeking their tops out right over there. Just a couple block walk. And this is these are really popular buildings. The latest and greatest finishes. One of them allows dogs, as many as you want, any kind of breed, any kind of weight limit. Very high amenity buildings with spas and just some great services, car washing, deliveries, hotel amenities, everything you'd want, and very private buildings. Great security, great privacy. No one's going to be walking in the door with a story to get in that building, either one of them. So just some beautiful options, and we'll probably continue to sell very well for years to come. You have questions, need help about Chicago, luxury condos or homes downtown, in the neighborhood surrounding, or in the surrounding suburbs, just reach out. I've definitely got your back. One of the most successful and connected agents here, and we'll take good care of you.